Hey, what's up guys? We're back again with a tilt-proof Royal Giant deck. The rank 4 players use this deck to claim his spot at the top of the world. If you're struggling against no-skill mid-ladder monsters, this is the best deck to push up. With Giant Skeleton to devour big pushes, Little Prince to push back bridge spam, and Fisherman to activate King Tower, no matter what your opponent throws at you, you're gonna be safe. And after incinerating their offense with Giant Skeletons, Fishermans, and Mother Witches, you can throw a Royal Giant down and make them pay. Since they won't be able to afford enough defense on the spot, you'll gain trophies quick. Any bait cards that are played with the purpose to counter the Royal Giant will get blasted by the Rage arrows or converted to your team with a Mother Witch. When the evolved Royal Giant attacks, it knocks things back. So when it's raged up, you're gonna get non-stop knockbacks. And if you want to be inexplicably evil, you can drop an evolved bomber on top of any of their Royal Giant counters to burst through and still blast their tower for more damage. It's time to rank up with our royalty and immediately eviscerate any deck that overcommits to assert dominance. And the Mother Witch has cooked up a ton of love to everyone that's supporting the channel with creator code SirTag. If you only have one evolution, use the evolved Royal Giant. And use Rail Ghost or the regular bomber if you don't have the evolved one. Hey, we gotta give Mr. College Dropout, and he's apparently pretty angry. He's not crying, he's furious. So maybe that's what crying fire is. I'm not sure. Anyway, we're gonna be going for a Royal Giant pretty soon if he decides to drop anything in the back. If he decides not to do anything, we'll just cycle our Mother Witch instead. We're using Cannoneer first game of the day. It is definitely better with this deck since you've got Mother Witch and a lot of small spells. So if you end up having comfortable answers to a lot of big cards in your deck, you can use the Cannoneer and it will destroy any big beatdown deck. And it crushes Musketeers in 2 hits. One-shots Dark Goblins. For a lot of reasons, the Cannoneer is superior to the Princess Tower if you have the right support for it. However, not every single deck can play it. And also costs money. So because of that, I'm not going to be using this version for the rest of the video. Just wanted to show it for the first game of the day, just because it is slightly superior to the Princess Tower if you can use it in this deck. Not in every single deck, but in this deck in particular, pro players are typically playing the Cannoneer. Anyway, we're going to be able to slaughter all the bats because we've got, our Rage, and we also end up having Mother Witch, and we've got arrows. So it doesn't necessarily matter. It's actually going to be to his detriment to be spamming bait cards into us. Like, you would think that the Skeletons would work really well here, but in reality, they're just giving me free pigs. And then we can go and use our Evolved Bomber plus our Mother Witch and probably get some immense value here. Even if he activates King Tower, it doesn't matter because we've got a Royal Giant. So, like, hey, I welcome you to activate King Tower in the face of adversity and go right into a Royal Giant and waste elixir activating King Tower. So I'm in a position where I believe he's probably going to go in for another bait card on top of the Little Prince. So we can first click the ability and then get ready with our arrows. So then we don't take any damage here. Oh my gosh! I wasn't even trying to make a prediction on Evolved Skeletons, but it happened anyway. And wow, we're going to make him pay. Our Little Prince is riled up, and we rage on top of his Little Prince to pulverize it, and we snag the tower. As you can see, College Dropout is already dropping out of the match. There is no way for him to hatch a win here. After we arrows these evolved bats, you know he's really raging now. There's absolutely no way for him to break through with the Mega Knight at the river, going directly into a Fisherman and also a Giant Skeleton. We've got multiple answers at every twist and turn. That was light work as we lit up his tower with our immense Royal Giant power. And after smashing Mega Knight down, we're going to be switching up our tower real fast for the more accessible version of the deck. Princess Tower, it's your time to shine. Hey, we got to give me this Mr. Master, and we're going to hand him an L right now. At least that's what we're hoping to have happen. I can Rage on the tower, or I can Royal Giant if he cycles anything in the back. You guys already know we're going to Royal Giant at the river because it's an evolution. So if he cycles anything, that's what we would do. Otherwise, we're just going to Rage the tower. He's going to give us a Bar Barrel, so let's Bomber on that. It's going to be 2 for 2. We did tragically go drop our Rage at the exact same time, but it is what it is. We cycled the Bomber so we can get to the evolution, so it's not that bad. And if he's not going to respond, we will go for a random Royal Giant. It's not that random. I think we're going to go and give our opponent some ransom right now, where he has to spend a lot of elixir or, Clash Royale currency to be able to defend this. So he is definitely going to be running a graveyard deck, and I want to be able to get a pig here so then we can go and distract and not lose the game. I really don't want to... Oh, I thought that I had Cannoneer for a second. I freaked out. I thought that I had to defend that with my life. Because if I had Cannoneer, I can't allow anything counter pushing and then go in for a graveyard. Like, this is awful for me. So the fact that we have a decent defense with the Little Prince against the graveyard means that I'm fine. We just block the river if he drops anything to go in for a graveyard with. And then we go for Little Prince against the graveyard skeletons and we completely clean it up with literally like no damage taken. So... with a Giant Skeleton in the back, we're going to get ready to see if he wants to go for a Knight. We can actually pull it to the other side with a Fisherman, and then we can go and counter the graveyard with the Little Prince. If he had done that, that's what I would have done. I would have tried to go and distract our counters to whatever he wants to do with the Knight with our Fisherman. And then what happens is, obviously, if we can go and kill the Knight really fast, and the Princess Tower is targeting the graveyard skeletons, then the graveyard gets like no damage because Little Prince is able to clean up the skellies and stay in place and ramp up the attack speed, so then the skeletons just get slaughtered. Wait, this is so good for us. If we can Mother Witch, how many piggies? I think at least 3. Even if he goes in for a Barbarrel, it's not that bad for me because we force an Ice Wizard as well. So I can Royal Giant at the left-hand side, or do I want to... Actually, yeah. Let's Royal Giant on the right-hand side, actually. The more I think about it, the better it is to just switch it up and make sure that we don't go in the same side as the Ice Wizard, and then go in for the Evo Bomber on top of the Knight. If this can lock tower, we just win the game. I don't know if it does. Oh, it does. That's beautiful. That's so stupidly strong. It is disgusting that we force out a Tornado too and put the Knight in the danger zone. So I can go in for this, and I'm going to body block the Baby Dragon from crossing the river, and if he decides to go graveyard, then we Mother Witch and we win the game. Unfortunately for us, we did not get that luxury. I was really thinking he would go in for a terrible graveyard, but I guess he was wise. He knew that that Baby Dragon was going to meet its demise, and he wasn't going to get a good trade. So well played on his end. We're going to click the ability, and this guy is an extremely passive player. From all intents and purposes, most graveyard players would have went in for a graveyard by now. This guy's built different. So we're going to Royal Giant at the river, try to get him to go Tombstone. That's why we're cycling the Bomber, and if he decides not to, it's fine. Royal Giant getting one shot is decent. I want to get a little bit more than that, so we're going to rage up our RG, and one more shot would be beautiful. It doesn't necessarily happen the way that we wanted. We were hoping for even more than that, but it's something that we can take. If he goes in for a graveyard, it would be also pretty predictable. We've got our Mother Witch in cycle. You always want to have your Mother Witch or your Little Prince. Those are going to be our best answers to the graveyard. We're going to randomly Royal Giant again, even though it's opposite side of the Giant Skeleton. I think this is good. We can pull the Knight with the Fisherman, and then we can go in for some other stuff afterward. Okay, this is fine. We can go for the Mother Witch, and then we can go in for a Rage with the Royal Giant, and hopefully we can get enough damage here. I think that the Royal Giant's raged up. There's not much you can do to stop it. If he goes in for an Ice Wizard, we Bomber on it, and we cave in, and we collect one of the easiest wins we've ever taken. Seriously, if you play against Graveyard when you have the Princess Tower, it's so easy. And Graveyard being one of the most popular and dominant decks in the game sets this Royal Giant deck up to wreck the meta, as our royalty rushes us up the ranks to 9,500 in the world. Yo, we got a game against someone with an Elixir Golem banner. I'm hyped up right now because if I can beat Elixir Golem, the day will be pretty good then. That is like the mark of a good day, destroying Elixir Golem. The guy's going to go in for a Rage first play, so, you know, he's following the suit of purple. Maybe he's going to go and drop the big purple blob soon. Okay, so spamming the Bomber is nice because that enables us to get to the evolution pretty quick. And then we can go for our Little Prince in the back. Generally, we want to drop that in the same side as the Elixir Golem. And I could go for a Mother Witch to go and start converting his bats. Yo, wait, I get skeletons too? Say less, my guy. Less is more, and this is something that we definitely adore. Yo, he is going to get the door slammed in his face if we can rage like that. And then I think we can go for a Bomber as well. And then we can maybe even go and start to stampede with our random Royal Giant. He didn't even lock onto the Mother Witch right now. We are locking down this game real quick. There's nothing he can do. He is simply screwed. So, deserved loss for Elixir Golem, and it makes me happy to pummel his tower in literally a minute. And we've already decided to win it, I guess. This game is so over. We've got 2 Mother Witches in his face, a Giant Skeleton saying that he's a disgrace, and ready to 3-crown him in just like 1 more second. Oh my gosh, my dude didn't even last more than 1 minute and 30 seconds. That is hilarious. He's already dead. We are speedrunning wins out here against Elixir Golem. He was definitely a prophet with his OP Cycle clan, with his skeletons and bats being absolutely overpowered for us. Turning them into pigs was the biggest profit we could have ever hoped for. Hey, we're playing against someone that finished 668 in the world, and that is probably the polar opposite of the Elixir Golem player that we just played against.
I'm built different.
Usually Elixir Golem players stampede through and die, or they win instantly. Top level players like this guy is likely going to give us a bit more of a run for our money and really make me play my best. Wait, there's no way he's running Elixir Golem as well. There's a chance though. He's got bats and skeletons. Is he actually running Elixir Golem? Are we doing the back-to-back Elixir Golem decks? Oh my gosh. It literally happened. I was manifesting it to not be this, and Clash Royale decided to give it to me anyway. All right, you know what? We're going to win no matter if we're playing against a better version of the deck that we just played against, because this guy is a top-ranked player playing the exact same deck. Let's run it back, and, you know, unfortunately, we don't get to 3-crown him in like 1 minute, 20 seconds, but we'll see what we can do here. I bet if we go in for a Royal Giant and then we go in for an Evolved Bomber, we can get a lot of damage on the tower, because if he decides to go in for bats, I mean, sure, we can arrows them, and then the Bomber is going to do a lot of damage, and the Elixir Golems, I bet you he tries to all-in me. Oh, yep, he's all-inning. He doesn't even care about his tower. He's a tried and true red, white, and blue elixir golem player. So this is going to be difficult for us to defend, being down 2 full elixir collectors. If I can make this happy, I don't know. I don't know. If I can make this happen, I'll be happy. I was going to say, if I can make this happy. I don't know why I said that. As you can see, I'm so rattled that I can't even get my words formulated. Can I get a defense formulated? Hopefully. I mean, we do have Giant Skeleton with Little Prince, so I believe this could be very good for us. There's no doubt this is going to be a promising interaction if we can just pummel his stuff and have the Giant Skeleton explode on his other units. Wait, this is actually working. This is working wonderfully. Do we win? Do we just win? There's no way, right? There's no way he's Elixir Golem on the other side. Are we going to fulfill the prophecy of always 3-crowding Elixir Golem? What is he doing? Like, seriously, I'm so confused. I'm actually baffled by the fact that this guy doesn't want to defend. I thought that top-ranked Elixir Golem players would be playing a little bit different, but I guess they're all the same. When you get converted to the religion of Elixir Golem, defense is no longer in your vocabulary. You don't understand it as a concept. So we're going to Evo Bomber and show him what's up. And we're not going to defend in the spirit of not defending. We end him. That was pretty awesome. I thought that would be the polar opposite, but it was the exact same thing. Just a slightly longer route to wreck our opponent. After easily melting another Elixir Golem player, we've popped up to 5,900 in the world. And maybe we'll manifest another one for more easy wins. It's cool pulverizing top ladder players running toxic decks. This guy's got Evo Ice Spear in the banner, and he's already starting off with some mind games. I wouldn't mind if he was playing that card because it is trash and allows us to trash his towers even faster than we did against the Elixir Golem players. I am able to go for a Mother Witch, so this is a surprisingly strong start again for us. Generally, this deck just gives you good starts every single time. If they cycle big cards in the back, you Giant Skeleton. You can activate King Tower using your Fisherman, or you can cycle Mother Witch into bait cards. Or, you know, you can always get a King Tower activation. You can always get a Little Prince pushback. There's so many different ways of pushing the odds of the game in your favor. So I really, really like this deck's capabilities for defense and counter push if opponents are aggressive, which a lot of people are on ladder. Think about it from the perspective of people lose games on ladder and hop into the next game instantly. And when they're frustrated and they make a bad play, this deck wins you the game instantly. So that's the reason why I like it so much. A lot of people are trying to get cheesy games, cheesy wins, and this deck has the capability of beating them really quickly. So I want to be able to go for a Little Prince and click the ability so that we don't lose to these barbarians. I want to wait a little bit. Maybe he's going to go for a miner so we can push back the miner with the Little Prince ability as well. That'd be super cool. I waited a little bit too long. Now Little Prince could die to a fireball. I hope he fireballs because we got Mother Witch. Is he not going to? Oh my gosh. I wasn't ready. My body was not mentally prepared for the clone. I am not going to lie. I didn't even think that was in the realm of possibilities. Is there a way the Giant Skeleton locks? Oh, come on. Wait. Is this dumb? This might be sincerely stupid. I'm going to activate King Tower. I don't take that much damage. I don't take that much damage. It's just like one lava pup. But if you spam to Flying Machine or anything else, you look at my elixir and you're like, Jake, you lose. And I understand. That would have been horrendous for me. I took the calculated risk and it paid off. So he wasn't able to pummel me or give me too much trouble. He's definitely going to go for a Lava Hound in front of this Fly Machine. If you cycle a Fly Machine like that in the back, you don't just let it go unsupported into the big bad world by itself. You always make sure it has some friends and some companions. All right, so we're going to wait, and then we're going to go in for a Little Prince direct. Oh my gosh, never mind. We're going to Little Prince off to the side, and then we're going to go for a Rage maybe. Or we're going to, yeah, I mean, I think we're just Rage on this. Because it is able to clean up the Night Witch, or not the Night Witch, the Fly Machine. There's so many clone cards in Clash Royale that sometimes I forget what they are. So they see an air card, I'm like, oh, the Night Witch spawning bats. But imagine the evolved Night Witches spawning Fly Machines. How bad would that be for the game? If Clash Royale did that, I wouldn't even be surprised at this point. So we're going to go in for a Rail Giant at the river because we want to be able to body block our anti-air responses. If he doesn't have a good answer to break through this, because he can't go for Barbarians directly on a raised Rail Giant that knocks everything back, and then the bomb of the Giant Skeleton, he just instantly loses his tower. So focus on defense until you find your opportunity. When you've got Giant Skeleton and Mother Witch counter pushing, plop down a Rail Giant and secure easy wins. It doesn't matter what cheesy strategy your opponent brings out, your solid defense will stop them every time. As long as you don't do anything supremely stupid. And we've quickly climbed up to 4,600 in the world. So we've captured a real contender. This guy finished 55 in the world, which is going to be a huge challenge for me. And I don't have my Mother Witch in my hand. Clash Royale, what are you doing to me right now? Okay, so I have to play my best. Otherwise, we're dead. I'm going to go in for Giant Skeleton left-hand side. And I think we can maybe make this happen. If he doesn't have Bowler in cycle, and we're able to go Giant Skeleton and hopefully have him not have Inferno Dragon. This giant skeleton is going to be a massive menace. Okay, we're going to rage it up as fast as possible. Let's go. And we Royal Giant into the bowler because we get to pull the bowler a little bit. I think that's worth. How much value are we going to get? The world may never know, but it might go pretty well. All right, we're going to go for a fisherman here, and then I think that it's going to be okay. Maybe we can go in for a Mother Witch afterward on top of the bats and not lose the game instantly. All right, that worked out about as well as it could have. We could have also activated King Tower, but it's still ite. Obviously, playing against a top ladder giant graveyard player is going to be interesting. We are always playing against cheesy decks. There hasn't been a single strategy that requires any skill in Clash Royale that we've matched into today. At least from my understanding, like it's been like elixir golem, giant graveyard, and I don't even know like what is next, man. What else can Clash Royale dish out to me today? I think I've seen it all. So we're gonna go for a giant skeleton since we can go and pull whatever he's gonna do, and then we can rage this. He thought we were gonna bomber, and he was wrong. The price is wrong, bro. You ended up dropping arrows. All right, so we can arrows here if we wanted, but I don't want to. I'd rather go and build up a bigger push. Maybe go in for an ability if we want. I don't think that's worth. I think he's just not gonna respond. I mean, oh, okay, he's gonna go bats. We let those go and then just go Evo RG on the other side. I think that's way better because like we're not gonna waste elixir that way. I mean, arrows, we can possibly go in for a fisherman. I think fisherman here is ideal. And then we're going to be able to kill the bowler a lot faster that way. Oh! I didn't even think that was going to work that well. He dropped the skeleton army and freaked out. What is going on? This guy finished 55 in the world and just dropped that into a... He literally just dropped the skeleton army into an evolved RG. Like he didn't even know the mechanic of it. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. What is going on today in Clash Royale? Is everyone losing their skill by playing these type of no-skill decks? I don't think anyone's thinking anymore. I didn't expect him to do it, so I reflexively dropped an arrows and I wasted elixir. All right, let's go for an Evo Bomber here. And let's go for a Little Prince. There's no way. Again, his skeleton army gives him no value. I mean, it's not fair. It's giving me value. Maybe he wants to give me value. Maybe that's the real strategy here. Not necessarily caring about yourself. Being the superbly selfless sir that he is. Giving us as many towers as we could possibly want. And he's clapping because we completely clapped him. It's fitting, my guy. You didn't even take a tower, and you lost almost all 3 of yours individually. And his mental is split in shambles too, epitomized by the immense amount of angry emotes he was spamming at the end. And after destroying one of the best players in the world, I'm not gonna lie, this deck feels like it has unbeatable defenses. Cannonball the like button if you enjoyed today's video, subscribe for more daily content, and have an amazing rest of your day.